I'm Richard Randall, and welcome back to the Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of the Real Estate Voice. Barb, home sellers planning to put their homes on the market often ask how to prepare. What are some important tips to drive up the sales price when they sell their Springs area home?
Well, Richard, on balance, the homes that are really pretty, that are exquisitely move-in ready, that look perfect, and they're priced realistically, always sell fast. And it's interesting that most home sellers kind of assume that their home is sold as is. So there's usually a lot of drama around when an inspector comes around, starts picking apart their house, and the buyers start asking for stuff. And of course, in the state of Colorado, there's no license to be an inspector, doesn't exist. So you get all kinds of craziness along with that. Like just last weekend, I had a inspection on one of my listings, and Mr. and Mrs. Seller had just taken a shower. So obviously there was moisture in the small master bathroom. And so the inspector goes in there with his moisture meter, which is supposed to look behind, it's infrared, and it's supposed to look behind drywall and indicate that there could be a leak in the plumbing. Oh my God. And so the inspector called it out. And so the seller spent money bringing in a plumber, and he said, there's nothing wrong. There's no plumbing leak here at all. But some small improvements that you can do will really go a long way to making the house more attractive to buyers. Some of the high cost things that you're going to have to face, and you should get ahead of these, are typically roofs. So everybody knows, although this year has not been a bad year for hail, but we've gotten a lot of hits for hail in this market. If the furnace is terribly old, if it's still functioning, it's okay. Just make sure you put a home warranty on it, but you have to kind of budget as a buyer that you're going to have to replace that. Would it blow up a deal? Maybe, maybe not, only if it's unsafe. Electrical panels, so those are getting pretty expensive, $2,500, maybe $3,000. So why replace an electrical panel? There is at least one brand that is in probably a third of the homes in this market. It's called Federal Pacific. And what happened was when they went and received their UL rating for these breakers in the panel, they didn't use the breakers of the ones that they actually put in the panels. So they had problems with some houses that if a circuit got overloaded, it would not trip and it would cause a fire. So as a result, if you go online, you search Federal Pacific panels on the internet, it will terrify you and it'll make you think your house is going to burn down. Now, there are some of those models that are fine, but the problem is because the reputation of this company has gotten so bad, most of the electricians don't want to risk their reputation by working on them. So a lot of them recommend a replacement. So if you have that kind of panel in your house, don't panic. Just plan on it being a part of the budget that is probably going to have to be replaced prior to closing. And a lot of times we can have the cost of that taken out of the closing of the net proceeds. Structural stuff can be super, super expensive. You would know if you have structural problems, cracks in the walls, crooked floors, that kind of stuff. And then the last thing that probably comes up very frequently is that a lot of the buyers lately on their inspection are looking at the sewer line to make sure the sewer line has integrity. It doesn't have breaks in it, that it's not clogged up, because if you have to dig up a sewer line, it could be super expensive. Could be anywhere from I'd say $3,500 to $8,000 to fix that. So if I had one seller that was very preemptive about it, and what he did was he called in a plumbing company and said, hey, go scope the sewer line, let me see. I want to know about that before I go on the market. That way I am prepared, which is a great idea. And we do pre-inspections for sellers if they're interested in that. But mostly it's the cosmetic updates that make the buyers fall in love. So many of these are quick and easy and low cost, and pre-planning with our team can really help it sell and go well. Number one thing that doesn't cost you anything but labor and time is declutter. Almost every home I go into that's occupied has more clutter than how you would normally live in a home. Well, people have clutter in their house. That's normal. A few of them don't, but there are a lot of people that have they live with backpacks coming home and getting dropped on the kitchen counter and this and that. It's constant. However, when you put your house on the market and you're going to show it, you definitely want to make sure the home looks a lot more austere. And the way you can do that is just take a picture of each of the key rooms, the living room, the kitchen, the master bath, the main bedrooms, the family room. Take a picture, blow it up on your computer if you can, and it will talk right back at you at what the problem is. Usually that's how I can tell. Sometimes I can't tell when I get pictures back, even our marketing photos, sometimes I'm like, oh, that trash can in the kitchen doesn't look right, or that dish towel hanging on the stove, it just doesn't look right. And I'll have my virtual assistants digitally make that go away, so it looks nice. But you can get a storage shed for your excess stuff. They're not that expensive, and store that stuff away. The other thing is clutter actually gives you more space. So you can rent a storage space. A lot of them are offering incentives like $1 for the first month or something like that. And then paint is another one that creates drama. So people like to personalize their homes with very non-neutral paint colors. Going neutral is always the best way to go. I had one client that they were huge Bronco fans, big soaring family room, and they painted the whole wall this Bronco orange. So they weren't too happy with me when I said, you have to, neutralize that wall. And they did that, and it sold for a premium. I had one recently where the house wasn't selling. And when I looked at the pictures, one of my team members had it. I'm like, well, the turquoise wall is a problem, and the purple walls are a problem. It's a very inexpensive fix, but you will get 107% return on your investment. And then, of course, repair broken stuff. And flooring absolutely is huge. You want to make sure that you're replacing or repairing any tired flooring. It will actually get you 7 times the cost of replacing it. I had one listing recently where they had the regular Berber carpet that was a little bit worn in the whole house. And he told me there was hardwood underneath there, and he had the skills to refinish the wood. So he pulled off that carpet, pulled up the nails, freshened it up, and it was amazing. It sold for way over asking price. I had another one where they had laid down brazen hussy red shag carpet from the 80s over hardwood floors. And my initial thought was, hey, let's pull that red carpet and let's recoat the floors. But when the carpet guy came out, he goes, Barb, it would be much less expensive just to put new fresh carpet over the floors. So that's what they did, and that home sold for a premium. And one thing that you don't have to worry about initially is we don't photograph the inside of closets. They just don't photograph very well unless you have something that looks like, I don't know, something that looks like a model home. It's just not that common that we photograph them. And the same thing with garages. They tend to naturally be cluttered. So those are the spaces, especially a garage. You can pack up the stuff that you don't need, stack it over to the right. It's fine. As long as they can see the size of the garage, it's good enough. And for closets actually look better and bigger if you get everything off the floor. Here's another very low cost thing that you can do that will update your home. Light fixtures, they're not too expensive. You can do them over time. The gold finish is out of style. I was in a house the other day where they had updated the light fixture in the bathroom, and they had updated the shower, but they put the gold little handles on the cabinets. And it was just that little thing, that little $3 part that would be so easy. Even I can replace it. And I'm scary with the screwdriver to replace that thing to make it look more updated. So brassy gold finishes are out of style. The Hollywood light fixtures are out of style. And our stager definitely can give you guidance on these things. So we're offering a free report on the 27 valuable tips to get your home sold fast and for top dollar. You can download that report for free on barbhasthebuyers.com and you could click on the green button, or you can go to Seller Guide. There's all kinds of free reports on there to download. Or you can give us a call at 719-301-3900. And of course, clean, clean, clean. You want to make sure everything is immaculately clean, because that's what they're expecting. Even though they're buying a pre-owned home, buyers want move-in ready. Richard?
You're listening to The Real Estate Voice. That's Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold, Guaranteed Realty. If you're interested in selling your home, you want to call Barb at 719-301-3900. And we're talking, Barb, about the 27 tips to drive up the sales price of that Springs area home. What are some other home repairs that can yield a great return on that investment?
Well, Richard, I'm sure people have heard the term before, but curb appeal is absolutely hugely important. Now, I know in this climate, there are some people that have the talent to make green grass grow, but it's not easy in this area. But if you have green weeds, mow them, make them look good. Give your flower beds fresh mulch. Make sure the front door paint is fresh. Curb appeal is massively important. Just like the online pictures are important, and people are eliminating homes based on the online pictures, people are also eliminating homes by driving by. So you have to get that right. And so what happens is they come up to the house, and the assumption is if the outside doesn't look well cared for, then the inside's not going to look good either, right? So you don't want to be eliminated over something that's really very simple to resolve. So freshen mulch beds, put out fresh flowers, give the bushes a trim, paint the front door. Also update the doorbell, please. I see so many broken doorbells when I go to homes. So you imagine you're the buyer and you're walking up, and those little plastic doorbells don't last that long. They tend to break over time, especially in this climate. It's a minor, inexpensive part, but if it's broken, there's this subliminal information that's sent to the buyer that says this homeowner is not taking care of their home. Curb appeal is very important. Also, peeling paint on the outside. If you think your buyer's going to be getting a VA loan, they're going to ding it every single time. If there are trip hazards walking up to your house. So concrete is not structural. It's actually poured on the ground. And I had one contractor tell me that's the only guarantee you have that concrete's going to crack. That's fine. However, if it cracks so much that there's a trip hazard, it just gives the impression that you're not taking care of the house. There's some inexpensive things that you can do, like something called mud jacking, where they will pump concrete under, level off those surfaces, and do some little patches, and it'll look fabulous, and it's really inexpensive. But it can mean the difference between getting plenty of offers and getting fewer offers. And we all know that buyers eliminate homes based on the online pictures. So that has to be superb. And we put a lot of our marketing dollars, including staging, professional photos, videos, all this stuff, to make sure we get that right. Richard?
You're listening to The Real Estate Voice. That's Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold, Guaranteed Realty. Whether it's photographs, staging, drone footage, she can take care of it all. And if you're thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. Or if you want a free report, the 11 high-cost home inspection traps you should know weeks before you list your home, go ahead and visit barbhasthebuyers.com. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll be talking about how you can come back with multiple cash offers on your home. Stay tuned for that.